Hello everyone, my name is Uddip and this is my AP seminar reflection. But before I do anything, I just want to say that if my voice sounds a little bit weird or if I stop and pause and cough, it's because I've been sick for the last few days and my throat's been really irritated. Like that, but that wasn't intentional. So overall, I think that my first semester of AP seminar has been really nice and I've enjoyed all the different topics we've discussed. I think that the workload is relatively low, but it makes up for it by the fact you have to analyze every single thing you do. Every way you phrase something, you always have to put thought and effort into how you're going to do so. And one of my biggest takeaways has been how to do better research, especially with the annotated bibliographies, and how to make better slide decks and presentations. And before I started it, I thought that the course would be a walk in the park, but now I realize that there's a lot more analysis that has to go on. Even though it might seem like such a simple issue for food insecurity, just give more people food, it's actually really complex. There's so many different levels, as we've learned throughout this year. At the beginning, I was a little bit scared because of EOCA, but I realized that it got a lot better from there, and I think that I'm going to be prepared when we go into the next semester. And starting with food scarcity, at first, it seemed to me like a really basic thing to do. And the reason for that was because food scarcity has been talked about a lot. Like every single school I've gone to, I've heard someone say, okay guys, let's do a food drive to help those in need. But after we went through the course, I realized that over these past few months, that food scarcity is such a complex issue. There's so many different layers. There's political, economical, futuristic, social. There's so many different things. There's dietary restrictions. Everything has to be taken into account before you make any changes into this issue. But learning about my specific lens and conversing with all my classmates about what they think about food scarcity has really made me understand just how much this issue needs attention and the fact that we as high school students can help make a difference. So the research process itself, I found it to be relatively easy, but my procrastination didn't help at all. But I think that finding articles on papers on food insecurity was really easy. But the problem was finding sources that converse with each other. Because with these sources, they'd be really similar because everyone has the same view that food scarcity needs to be ended. But there's not really many, although there are some, differing opinions on what we should do in order to end food scarcity. And I think that for next semester, when I get to choose a topic related to the theme, that it'll be a little bit better than what's been done this semester, but I really don't want to do another annotated bibliography. My most favorite part of this semester has had to be the GOAT presentation, because it was really fun to do one on a book that I thought would be the most influential of all time. And the fact that I got to choose the different criteria made me really feel like a critic on those movie websites like IMDb. My least favorite part had to be the annotated bibliography because I've done them in the past and writing that much for me for each one, I really didn't like it. And I procrastinated a lot too, which I guess is another problem. But I didn't realize just how helpful it would be in the long run because the fact that I put it off meant that, it's just not going to be useful. But after I started working on it for a long period of time, I realized that when I made my IRR, it made it so much easier to do every single part of it. My sources were already cited. I could already cite the evidence that I needed, especially after doing those cards. And it made it just overall a lot more cohesive when writing my paper. And I think that really helped. And I'm grateful that I ended up having to do it. In terms of my teammates, they've been amazing throughout this entire project. Like I mentioned before, I've been sick for the last few days. And as I'm saying this, my teammates are helping me transfer my pre-written material that I wrote for my section of this PBL onto the Google website that we're making. And the fact that they've been just so accommodating throughout this whole process has shown me that my teammates that I picked for my PBL and for the TMP are incredibly nice. And the fact that they were all bringing their own talents to the table has helped me a lot. And I think that our PBL is really amazing for this reasons. And hopefully our TNP will be a really high scoring one. I think that I also myself grew a lot throughout this entire process. My research skills got a lot better because of the annotated bibliography. And I've done literature reviews in the past, but I haven't done them in that much depth. I also think that when I write, it's a lot more concise now, which is a lot better than it was before, where I'd go on and on pages of meaningless content. And I've had a ton of fun in this class. Going on the Atlanta Community Food Bank trip, which is an experience that was really interesting because I got to see all the different aspects. That was really fun because all my friends were there, and while it was a serious field trip, we got to learn a lot and we still had fun looking at the different aspects. And I'd like to say that overall, This semester in seminar has been an amazing class, and I can't wait for the next semester of AP Seminar to begin.